Now moving on, President William Ruto with other African heads of state have called for the tripling of the World Bank's International Development Association financing by 2030. This is in order to enhance its impact on development, and the proposal for an increase in financing has now become a clarion call that is echoed far and wide at the International Development Association for Africa Heads of State Summit at the Kenyatta International Convention Center in Nairobi. Here's Noah Kipkemoe with this report.
The World Bank's International Development Association for Africa Heads of State Summit happened at a time when the continent is in a crisis.
More than half of African countries are debt distressed. Ghana is currently going through the restructuring of her debts under the G20 Common Framework, which we all know is a slow process and needs to be stepped up. At the same time, we're suffering from the increasing effects of climate change.
We are doing so at a time when Africa and the world are still facing the effects of multiple crises.
Like many IDA countries, Ethiopia faces unemployment and a skill gap challenge.
President William Ruto led African heads of state and government in calling for increased concessional funding from IDA, which supports low-income countries with grants and long-term low-interest loans for development.
The forthcoming 17th replenishment of the ADF should be doubled to 25 billion per replenishment cycle, thereby facilitating greater levels of concessional financing to its 37 low-income member countries, which will also complement IDA.
In light of this crisis, coupled with significant shortfalls in development finance and shrinking fiscal space, what is required in going forward are more concessional resources.
Access to the affordable long-term capital at scale is set to help unlock Africa's green energy resources and food security.
Africa being the youngest continent in the world, investing in education, in health, in social protection, gives us the opportunity to provide 40% of the world's workforce by 2050.
We are working to make IDA more efficient. We are working to make it able to deliver faster by cutting burdensome rules, requirements, and redundancies. We believe a simpler and reimagined IDA can be deployed with more focus to make meaningful impact to advance the fundamental needs, energy access, healthcare availability, realize the agricultural potential of this continent, and build out critical infrastructure and skills in its people.
From their end, the heads of state and government committed to play their part by taking deliberate and robust actions to improve fiscal discipline, increase domestic revenue mobilization, develop investor-friendly policies, and enhance anti-corruption measures. Noah Kipkemoe, KTN News.
Well, as we transition, we have news that